Everyone please stand. You may be seated. Let the record reflect that the court is back in session and cause number 23 CCCR 0225 cases style the state of Texas versus Bryce Smith. Let the record also reflect that Mr. Smith is present in court with his attorney Pete Dole. Let the record also reflect that the state is present with assistant district attorneys, Attorney Andrew Hoover and Attorney Sarah Staub. State, are you ready?
State's ready.
And Mr. Dahl, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Let the record also reflect that the jury is now present and seated in the courtroom. Mr. Bryce Smith, would you please stand? And Mr. Andrew Hubel, would you please read the information?
In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas comes now the undersigned Assistant Criminal District Attorney of Jefferson County, Texas, on behalf of the state of Texas, and presents in and to the County Court at Law of Jefferson County, Texas, that in Jefferson County, Texas, Bryce Smith, here after self-defendant, heretofore on or about February 10th, 2023, did then and there intentionally, knowingly, and recklessly cause bodily injury to another, namely Eureka Edwards, hereafter styled the complainant by pushing and scratching the complainant about her body, and at the time of said assault, complainant was a member of the defendant's family against the peace and dignity of the state.
Okay. Mr. Smith, how do you plead?
Please, sorry. Stands mute. He stands mute.
Okay, what, you pleading guilty, not guilty, no contest?
Mute.
Okay, you're gonna have to enter a plea.
I think that's what.
Okay, well, the statute says if you refuse to enter a plea, the court can enter a plea of not guilty on his behalf.
That's right.
Okay, so you're in a plea of not guilty.
No, we stand mute.
Okay. Yeah, you may be seated. Court is going to enter a plea of not guilty on his behalf. Now, Mr. Hubel, would you like to have an opening statement?
Yes, Your Honor.
And what is, and you can please approach the podium, give your opening statement.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being here. Again, our justice system will be more provided all being present. Now, yesterday during jury selection, we had talked about elements that the state must prove beyond a reasonable doubt. Just to get those elements fresh in everyone's head again. Those elements are in Jefferson County, Texas, on or about February 10th, 2023, defendant Bryce Smith intentionally, knowingly, or recklessly caused bodily injury to Eureka Edwards, and Eureka Edwards was a member of the defendant Bryce Smith's family at the time of the offense. Now, that was all we could really get into during the jury selection, but now that we've gotten to this point, I can touch on the actual facts of the case when discussing it with you in opening. So, what I plan to show in this case is that, and what I will show in this case is that on the evening of February 10th, 2023, Eureka Edwards was at her residence at 2940 South Street in Beaumont, Texas. Her son, her biological son, Bryce Smith, showed up to her residence to speak to the mother of his child. Taylor Wynn, who's also present. So at this point, Mr. Smith entered the residence through an unlocked front door and attempted to speak to Miss Wynn. Miss Edwards attempted to make him leave the home and told him that he wasn't welcome there. And this was after Miss Wynn said that she did not want to speak with him. At this point, Miss Edwards attempts to make Mr. Smith leave, and he responds with force. There's a struggle, and Mr. Smith pushes Miss Edwards to the ground. During that struggle, she sustains an injury to her collar area. And at a point during the struggle, she attempts to alert her husband, who is outside the home in the shop in the backyard. At which point Mr. Smith leaves the scene. Then Miss Edwards calls law enforcement. So, in order to prove that these events happened, in order to prove the elements listed earlier beyond a reasonable doubt, the state will present testimony from the complaining witness, Eureka Edwards, testimony from a responding officer, Officer Catherine Harris, and testimony from an investigative technician, Carol Harper, as well as the photographs taken at the scene of Miss Edwards' injuries. Again, thank you very much for your attention in this process. I expect that I'll be able to get through my case in chief fairly quickly.
Okay, Ms. Doyle.
We'll waive open statement.
Okay, Mr. Hubel, would you like to call your first witness?
Stay close, Eureka Edwards.
Eureka Edwards.
She's in the jury room. I mean, the witness room.
Ms. Evans, would you please come forward? Ms. Evans, would you please raise your right hand? Ms. Evans, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do.
Okay, Ms. Evans, you can take a seat on the witness stand. And you can, you look at, that's the mic covers. You can adjust the chair and the microphone once she placed her mic cover. Ms. Eva, you may proceed.
Good afternoon, Ms. Edwards. Could you introduce yourself to the jury?
My name is Eureka Edwards.
You can put the mic up a little closer so they can hear you.
My name is Eureka.
Ms. Edwards, do you know why you're here today?
Yeah.
And why is that?
To a case that we had, yesterday we had with my son.
Okay. And do you know what type of case that is?
Assault.
Okay.
Okay. Let's
And
go to Tony here.
so, and
Tony is more powerful.
do you know if the individual who assaulted you is in the courtroom today?
Yes, he is.
Who are they?
Right.
And Can you identify them, can you identify him by an article of his clothing?
Was that sure?
Um, so, will the court, recognize that the, witness has identified the defendant, Bryce Mount?
The record will so reflect.
And what relation is he to you?
My son,
And that's your biological son?
correct.
Now, you had said that we were here to discuss an assault case.
Mhm.
Did that, assault occur on February 10th of 2023?
Yes,
Now, where did this occur?
at my home,
And can you give the address?
2940 South Street.
And that's in Beaumont, Texas?
Beaumont, Texas,
And that is in Jefferson County?
correct.
So, did Bryce Smith show up to your residence that evening?
Yes, he did.
And do you recall why he was there?
When his daughter and his daughter's mom was at my house.
And did Mr. Smith enter the residence?
Yes, he did.
Was that in an effort to speak to them?
Yeah,
How did he enter the residence?
forcefully, without permission.
Was that through an unlocked front door?
Yes,
So he did not have permission to enter the residence.
no,
How did you respond when you discovered that he was in the residence?
I got between the door and him, I told him to get out because, he wasn't working in it. And they didn't want to go, his daughter and the baby mom didn't want to go outside.
So you made it known to him that he was not to be there at that
Right.
time. So at that point, did you attempt to get him to leave?
Yes,
How did he respond?
push me out the way. I could do it.
Okay. So did he push you multiple times?
Yes,
Did you and Mr. Smith end up on the floor at a point during the struggle?
yes, we did.
And did you sustain an injury from the struggle?
Yes. I did.
Can you describe the nature of that injury?
It was a scratch along the day.
And did that injury and the struggle that caused it cause you to experience pain?
So
Um, Permission to approach?
Yes, you may approach. Witness.
I am showing you what is going to be marked as states 1 through 8. Can you identify what's in these pictures?
picture,
Yeah. And are these pictures from the evening of February 10th, 2023?
correct.
These images were taken after the assault occurred?
Yes,
And are they a fair and accurate representation of your physical condition following the assault that occurred on February 10th, 2023? Going to publish to the defense for inspection.
Oh, thanks, Greg. Oh, thanks, Greg.
Yes.
Love it, Steve, but to the jury too.
No objection.
Okay, no objection. States exhibits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 are admitted.
Permission to post to the jury?
Yes, you have permission to post to the jury.
Well, it's-
So in addition to the injury that had caused you pain, were there any other physical signs that, that Mr. Smith had assaulted you on your person?
No,
There was, so was there any, damage to the clothing you were wearing?
yeah, my shirt was torn,
Okay, and whereabouts on the shirt was that?
right in
Okay.
the.
And that was also depicted in the images marked as States Exhibit 1 through 8.
Yeah,
So, at a certain point, the assault stopped.
correct.
What made that stop?
When I told, Taylor to go get my, from the back, and he got out of the house.
So your husband was not in the house at the time.
No, he was in the back, in the shop.
Okay. So, did he leave as soon as you attempted to alert your husband?
Yeah, he started running out the yard. with it.
After you left the residence, was that when you contacted, law enforcement?
Yes,
And what was law enforcement quick to respond?
took about 10 to 15 minutes to get there.
Okay. When you interacted with law enforcement, did you tell them what had occurred?
Yes,
And did they take a statement from you?
yeah, they gave me the paper, to write it on, and, pick it up later.
Did they call out a technician to take pictures?
Yeah, she came
of
out.
your injuries? And are those the same pictures marked as
Yes.
States Exhibit 1 through 8?
Mhm.
Just to be clear, those pictures were taken at your home as well?
Yes,
You said that Mr. Smith is your biological son, correct? Did was he living with you at this time,
not at this time,
or at the time of the assault?
no,
Did he live with you when he was first born?
no.
Okay. So who did he live with?
We let his, my husband's sister raise him.
Okay. Can you explain why?
Yeah, but at that time, me and my husband, at that time, we wasn't married. And so the situation with us wasn't a good situation to bring in another child. And so with his sister, with my husband's sister, they was in a better situation that we thought at that time to raise them. And so that's why he allowed them and kept them in the family.
And did you have a relationship with Mr. Smith as you grew up?
No, not as a mother and son, no.
But a familial one still?
Right, yeah. We knew what was basically most of the things that was going on with him.
Okay. Did he know you were his biological mother?
I think once he got a little older, because I have another son that's, 4 years younger than him, older than him, and they hung together more, and so I'm pretty sure that once he got a little older, he'd be.
Um, so, did he live with you, at any time prior to this assault?
He lived with us for a few months when he had the house arrest for the shooting crime that he had. So that was one of the stipulations that he had, in order for him to get out, he had to be on house arrest.
But at the time of the assault, he had not been living with you for at least 6 months prior.
Right.
Okay. Mr. Doyle, you may proceed.
A little confused. Confused. The child that was at the house, maybe,
Mhm.
was the product of a relationship between the girl that was at the house and the defendant.
Correct.
And the girl that was at the house with the baby was not related to you, or was related to you?
No.
Not related to you.
The girl, the baby mom,
Yeah.
no, she's not related to me,
Was she living there?
no,
She just went there.
she came to visit me.
And so this scenario developed when, after she got it back.
When she got to the house, she notified me and said that, Salem's dad had called her, and she told him that she was coming to our house to get something for the baby.
Were there clothes at the house,
You know, we had some toys for the baby.
and toys?
Mhm.
So she came over to pick up some toys,
Right,
and he came,
he came while she was talking to Ryan.
right? And when he came, was she upset with him?
He didn't want to go outside because he called her on the phone.
Was she upset with him?
I don't know if she was upset with her. She didn't want to go outside and talk to him.
So that's all you know.
Right.
And was he upset with her?
I would like that, I don't know. She didn't want to go outside, so I don't know what was the issue between the two.
So you told her to go into one of the bedrooms.
I told her to go to the back to get my husband after the incident started.
Oh, to leave the house and go get your husband?
No,
You know, he wasn't in the house,
He wasn't in the house, he was in the back.
and so you told her to go get him. And eventually he showed up, or she never got out of the house?
No, she was able to go to the back one time, my husband came to, he brushed on.
So this was a couple of minutes, maybe?
Like, I guess it happened so fast, it could have been, yeah,
And so your husband you're married to,
right,
and your husband is his father,
correct.
and he didn't know anything was going on, so he's in the backyard, something.
He's in the back shop.
Shop,
In the shop, we have a shop in the back.
like a carpenter shop or something.
Right.
And you're his natural mother,
Correct.
but you didn't raise him.
Correct.
He was raised by
His auntie.
his auntie,
Mhm.
and that's your sister,
That's my husband's sister.
your husband's sister.
Correct.
Where does she live?
Right now, I live in address.
But she lives in
He
Beaumont,
live in Beaumont.
and she's married to your husband's.
No, she's married to somebody else. That's my husband's sister.
Okay. So he came in, and you don't know why they were upset with each other, or you don't even know why they were upset, or if they were upset. But you told him that he had to leave.
Yeah, because me and him had an altercation before that, so that's the reason why he couldn't come to my house. It didn't have anything to do with her.
But I'm sort of right. I mean, I don't have maybe the details right, but I mean, basically that's what happened.
Yeah, that's the reason why she didn't want to go outside to talk to him, but he could come into my house because me and him had something else before that, prior to that.
And his auntie never adopted him, but she raised him.
Right.
So he was out of high school or out of school or whatever.
Mhm.
Do you consider that yourself as having a quick temper?
You know, maybe when I was younger, but not as an adult, I don't.
Not now?
Mhm.
Do you consider that he has a quick temper?
Right,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do? So you said to him that he had to leave, but you didn't know why why she wanted him to leave, or had that been made clear to you?
no, who wanted him, I wanted him to leave because me and him had an altercation prior to that, a few weeks before that. It didn't have anything to do with her. I said, did she want to go talk to him? She could have been outside, but she didn't want to go outside to talk to him. So he wasn't welcome in our house because of
But
me.
any kind of relationship to her?
Hmm?
It wasn't because of any kind of
No, it didn't have
relationship.
anything to do with her.
And we're both gonna talk at the same
Yeah.
time. Okay,
Mhm.
right. It wasn't because he had any kind of relationship or interaction between her. It was maybe between you and him, right? And how far apart were you when you said he has to leave? 6 feet?
No, I was right in my doorway. Maybe
2 feet?
from right here.
That far?
Mhm.
And you were in the doorway?
Yeah, I told him, once he opened my door, I got in my door and said, you cannot come in.
And did you explain to him why, or did you just say, I own the house, you can't come
You
in?
know, I explained to him why, once I said that, that should have been it.
Who did you go to a different area? Okay.
Mhm.
Who did you live with when you did school? You or
With the aunt.
nothing?
Mhm.
So he went to her at a very young age,
Yeah, when we left the hospital, he went with her.
to her house,
Mhm.
and he stayed with her from
He graduated.
high school.
Mhm.
And y'all's relationship would be distant,
You can say,
close,
don't you say this, because
distant. So he wasn't there every day,
no,
maybe once every couple of months.
at our house,
Yes,
I would say once a couple of months, maybe, I don't,
once every 6 months.
it just depends, because he would come, maybe spend one night or two, maybe a night with my parents.
With your son.
Mhm.
What's your son's name?
Glacy,
Glace.
Glacy,
Glacie.
Glacee. And we have another son named James.
Are they older or younger?
Oh,
Both of them? What high school did they go to?
Ozane.
What high school did he go to?
James went to Ozane and Glacy went to Central.
What about? Sorry, getting dry. What high school did he go to?
Did he go to? I think he went to Westbrook, I think he went to Canada.
What is your sister? What are your sister-in-law?
Such a lot.
What did she do for a living?
She's working at Bowman Housing when she got it.
And her husband,
He's working at one of the plants.
in the plant,
And then work for the post office.
post office. Did they have any kids of their own?
That one,
Which one?
Jeremy
Jerry?
Smith.
Jerry Smith?
Mhm.
Was he older or younger than?
Older.
Older than, Ken? No further question.
Mr. Huber, you may proceed. Any questions?
Your Honor. You can't speak to whatever relationship that Mr. Smith and Ms. Wynn have, correct?
Correct.
But you can say that he was not allowed to be there at your home on that evening,
Correct.
and that he had to leave because he wasn't allowed there, not because of any issue between him and the mother of his child.
Correct.
And he did not have permission to assault you.
Correct.
Any further questions, Your Honor?
Mr. Dahl?
I would just go. Moment, Judge. There was 3 people in the house. You, the girl, and the defendant, Mr. Smith.
Once he came into the home, it's me, Taylor, the baby, and him.
Did you invite him to the house or just came into the house?
He just opened my door to do the unlock.
Came into the house.
Mhm.
And your relationship, by and large, is a short period after time after you got born.
That's it.
Your relationship with him based on a short time after he was born.
Mhm.
And then in the next 18 years, couple of nights after.
But maybe not even months, but he like say spend a night with us, my
On
son.
a less than periodic basis.
Right,
Yes,
yeah.
I agree.
Mhm.
Thank
Mr. Hill?
No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay, may this witness be excused, Mr. Dahl
Yes, sir.
and, Mr. Hill? May
Yes,
this
Your Honor.
witness be excused? Ms. Evers, thank you for your testimony here today. You're free to go. Now, you can follow the bailiff, and you have a blessed day. Hey, Mr. Okay, Mr. Dahl and, Mr. Smith, we're in trial. You need to keep your voices down.
I'm trying to figure that out.
Okay. Now, Mr. Huber, would you, call your next witness?
Your Honor, my next witness, Officer Garris, is scheduled to be here at 3 o'clock.
At 3?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so we're gonna, okay, so that's about 20, that's, 35 minutes. So the court will be in recess. Now, at this time, ladies and gentlemen, the court is gonna be in recess. We have water, coffee, if you need anything of that nature. Also, there are some restrooms outside in the hallway. The men's restroom is on this side of the hall in front of County Court at 11-3. The women's restroom is on the opposite side of the hall in front of the 172nd District Court. So we'll be in recess till 3 p.m. Okay? Everyone, please stand as the jury exits the room. Okay, court be in recess.